anytime that you have the second highest official in the Department of Justice suggesting that they should wear a wire and tape the President of the United States, it's not only wrong, but it has national security implications as well. And so I think the time is now for Rod Rosenstein to be held accountable.
That's Freedom Caucus Chairman Mark Meadows. He was on Fox Business last night stressing the need to investigate Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein. This as Mr. Rosenstein is preparing to sit down with President Trump tomorrow. The speculation is flying, it has been all week, whether he's going to resign or be fired or stay in his role, at least for now. Here now on the phone is Doug Burns, former federal prosecutor. Doug, doesn't Mr. Rosenstein have to testify under oath before Congress?
No, I think he does, David. I agree with that. I mean, look, my take on it, honestly, is that he wasn't serious when he was saying he was going to wear a wire against the President of the United States. I worked in the Department of Justice myself for 9 years, and it seems, really inconceivable that the Deputy AG would be serious about that. But at the same time, he should absolutely come in and testify under oath. And that includes all kinds of other topics, obviously, and also this thing about the 25th Amendment. I mean, let's get to the bottom of it and let's hear what he has to say. Absolutely, David.
In addition to testifying, all of this came from the notes of the fired Deputy FBI Director, Andy McCabe. And if we were able to see those notes, we could get a better idea of whether he was saying it as a joke or whether he was serious.
Well, there's no question about that. Absolutely. Let's take a look at what was contemporaneously written down as notes and really get to the bottom of it. As far as tomorrow's meeting is going to be extremely interesting, though. Maybe I'm jumping ahead a little, but I think it's a little bit of a counterintuitive head fake, the idea that he's either going to resign or be fired, David. I'm not so sure that's going to happen.
What do you think did happen? Because on Monday we heard these reports, very credible journalists, Jonathan Swan and others, suggesting that it was definite he'd either been fired already or his resignation had been accepted.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, it's interesting that you say that, David. I'm pretty sure I saw at least one article basically that said that he had either resigned or been fired, and my head was exploding because to me that didn't make a lot of sense. The reason I say that is because him leaving the post of Deputy AG in light of the fact that he's the titular head of the Russia probe, it's a whole different discussion. I mean, you can put to the side some of the other issues about, isn't he a witness to the Comey firing? Isn't he himself conflicted and he shouldn't be involved? That's not just, from the right sound points. Those are serious points, okay? But putting that to the side, the president knows full well politically that the left is just thirsting beyond to have him take some action against Rod Rosenstein because of the way it sets up David, the posture of
that
the
may
Mueller
well
probe.
be that may well be what stopped either his firing or his resignation being accepted if it was offered. But he is also, besides being the titular head of the Russia investigation, or at least the overseer of the Russia investigation, he was also instrumental in creating this whole process by signing the FISA warrant that allowed the FBI to spy essentially on Americans, particularly those in the Trump campaign. And the question is what the FBI was using to back up that FISA warrant and whether or not it was based on Russia disinformation in the Trump dossier. Shouldn't we definitely see that FISA warrant?
No, I'm very glad you raised that because, again, it's all too easy for everybody to say, oh, the right is raising these points about the FISA warrant to just deflect the Russia probe. Absolutely not. When the history books are written, and I know I'm jumping ahead, it's going to come out that there are some serious, serious questions about what happened with that initial warrant and the 3 renewals and whether, in point of fact, they overly relied on the dossier and their presentation to the court. Those are all absolutely legitimate questions. Of course, it was very interesting, David, that the president looked like he was going to declassify the warrants that were presented to the FISA court, and now apparently, at least for the time being, has reversed it. But to answer your question, I couldn't agree with you more, David, that should be released so everybody can look at exactly what was presented to that FISA court in all 4 instances.
We got to get to the bottom of it. Doug Burns, we thank you very much for coming on, Doug. Appreciate it.